First thing and foremost, I'd like to say Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Kal Halal, Wahawad La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rachaha Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles and the elder bishops and Zaquanium of the GMS Great Millstone who rule and teach Yasha Allah well through the Spirit, laboring in His word and doctrine, and are our true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there noising His gospel abroad and lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, wherever they are located at, in sincerity and in truth. Abba Ratazah, which means Father willing. So Father willing, this lesson is edifying. Inspiration for this lesson is drawn from this article that you see on the screen from thepeoplesvoice.tv, dated 15th of August 2026, the year of sellouts, agents and apostates. Now today, over here in the UK, is Monday the 17th of August 2026. Alright. Scurrying off to Argentina won't save you 1948ers. Tiny tops, they know. Alright, because those warlocks and wizards, the modern day Chaldeans, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Dukes of E, they know prophecy, Bible prophecy. Unlike the average everyday Joe Pack 6 Edomite, so-called WHITE person in the USA, Babylon the Great, and 2/3 of our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Lord's chosen people. Alright. By the way, unlike y'all, these banking elites know Bible prophecy, and they know Yahweh Shai is coming back real soon. They know he's from, tribe of Judah, so-called black man, and he wants vengeance. Alright? And also they know that that land that they soiled, that they stained with the blood of the prophets, that they colonized, that they named the so-called Israeli state, they know that land will be burnt up, by the Medes, which are the Russians, and by the Carmanians, which are the Iranians, and by Gomer, which is Turkey, and also by the dragons of Arabia, right, etc., etc., etc. So they're running off to Argentina, right, and lots of Amalekites in Argentina anyway, right. Now, you Hebrew Israelite tribes over there, primarily Naphtali, right, and you'll have other Israelite, tribes mixed in too, and of course there's heathens and E over there too, alright, there's tares amongst, the wheat, right, but there's believers over there as well, and the tribes of Israel are catching hell. Okay, so the headline says, thousands of Argentinians rise up against Israel's Zionist land grab. They are stealing our land. Thousands of demonstrators clashed with police outside Argentina's Congress on Thursday as lawmakers debated a controversial private property bill designed to grant huge swathes of land to Israel. Argentina's small hat president Javier Milei has officially allocated 100,000 hectares of forest land, 4 times Gaza's size, in an area where Zionists were reportedly caught setting fires months ago to Israel. Wow. There's these damn add-ons again. Or not add-ons, but adverts or whatever. Yeah. Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, Ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power, because the enemy hath said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord, power, Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord, power, Yahweh, to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore thus saith the Lord, power, Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, that's the Greek way of saying Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Okay. Again, Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, and that starts with the JJs, the least of the flock. They stole that land pursuant to the Balfour Declaration. So it's biblical prophecy that they took over the Holy Land. All right, and that land right now is far from holy. Pink city over there, different idols and temples, people worship over there as well. Okay, mosques, masjids, all right, etc. See, the Holy Land now is wherever the elect of Yasharallah is. Now Jerusalem will serve as the hub of the kingdom of heaven. Okay, once the Israeli state is, destroyed during World War III, and after America is on fire as well, burning, massive lake of fire, then the land of Israel will be rebuilt. Okay. And I believe, they have bunkers in Argentina that they will hide in. But they cannot escape the judgment of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Alright. At least 12 people were arrested and multiple injuries were reported, including a photojournalist who suffered head trauma. The protest, organized by patriots who oppose plans to turn Argentina into Greater Israel, drew thousands to Congress Square under the rallying cry, La Patria no se vende, the homeland is not for sale. Wow. Yeah, man, you devils have a lot to pay for. Let's go to the book of the prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah, of course, is the prophet of the Lord, and within the book of Jeremiah there are prophecies. We'll go to chapter 16. We'll read verse 16. And it reads, Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. You see? So the men of the Lord will be turned into hunters, yeah? And will hunt down these elites. See, right now we're fishing, we're fishermen. Yahushua did say he was going to make his disciples who became apostles fishers of men. Right now it's still fishing season, so we're still in fishing mode. However, soon it will be hunting season, and we're going to be in hunting mode. Alright? Lord willing, that's us, where the men of the Lord will have, privilege and honor of binding these kings and these nobles. Alright, that's in the book of Psalms, isn't it? Psalms 149. Start verse 6. It's a short chapter, we'll start verse 6. And it reads, Let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. Yeah, that's the 144,000. To execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people. To bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor of all his saints, praise ye the Lord. That's right, the saints of the Israelites, and it's going to be an honor for the elect to do that. Okay. Lord willing, this applies to us, yeah? These heathens, all right, will serve us in the kingdom of heaven. The elites will be the first crop of slaves, yeah? How about that? This is what their future holds. Punishments is coming to the heathens, all right? The elites will be dragged out of those bunkers and other retreats, that they've got by the men of the Lord. So that's the judgment written for these devils. These devils know what's coming. Hence the reason why they're making all these plans and preparations, investing trillions of dollars into their escape plan. Underwater retreats, okay, bunkers in different parts of the world, like New Zealand and places like that. All right, even in trying to escape out into the heavens. Let's go back to the article. The demonstration remained peaceful for much of the day before violence erupted at nightfall. Security forces responded with projectiles and water cannons, eventually clearing the square after 2 hours of sporadic clashes. Alright? And there's Mossad agents, these small hat spies, going into Argentina and setting fires so they can take over this land. That's just how the devil operates, right? But yeah, man, you got uproar to the people. There goes that. Alright? 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, I believe. Alright? The people of the earth, excluding the Babylonian cowards, understand who the problem is, what the problem is. They know that it's the JJs, the so-called Illuminati, deep state, them banking families, man. Amalek. They know it's Amalek. See, at some point, you Americans will be protesting in the streets, just like these so-called Argentinians, okay? When you've finally had enough, when you're fed up. Anyway, the Lord is mocking you. Look at this, Noah B. Price. Breaking news, Argentina just exploded. Thousands in the streets of Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. Tear gas, water cannons, clashes outside Congress, flags burned. This is not old footage. This is August 2026, yeah, this month, recently. And obviously if I play that, it's gonna, do it. Alright. There you go. Let's go to the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 46. Just en route to the plantation right now. Isaiah chapter 46, and we'll start at verse 9. And it reads, "Remember the former things of old, for I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I am Yahweh, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure, calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will also do it." Facts. Okay. Ultimately, the Most High's pleasure is to drag the heathen nations into the valley of Yehoshaphat, right? The Lord's decision, valley of decision, which they're already over there, right? The valley of the Most High's judgment, okay? For the final showdown between Yahushua and his angels and the devil and his angels, where he will decimate the heathen nations and their armies. That's his pleasure to do that, and it will happen. And his pleasure will be to totally and completely destroy the USA, Babylon the Great America. Mind you, it'll only take the Lord 1 hour to do so. Yeah, thermonuclear destruction, plus high concentrated laser beams coming from the chariots, so-called UFOs as well. The Lord is coming back with a whole host of angels, Archangel Michael as well, specifically built for war. Yeah. Alright. So we're living in exciting times. Alright. So yeah, the Lord will take pleasure in watching Babylon burn, and so will his men. I'll put the link to this article in the description box as well beneath. Alright. But yeah, mayhem is coming to the streets of the US as well. Now we know that he has paid agents and provocateurs inciting some of this. We are not ignorant to Satan's devices. But these Argentinians don't want the 1948ers in their country. They understand that they're a cancer. And they're rising up and doing something about it. Uproars, man. Bible prophecy. You think I would book a flight to dirty Argentina? You see how they were carrying on when they lost the World Cup to Spain? Sore losers. Spoiler alert. Why are Argentines protesting? The immediate trigger is President Javier inviolability of private property bill, which aims to streamline eviction procedures, change rural land use rules, and make it more difficult for the state to expropriate private property. A particularly contentious chapter would have raised the cap on foreign land ownership from 15% to 25% of Argentina's territory in order to give the land to Israel amid Zionist global expansion plans. So yeah, this is part of their Greater Israel project. Okay. Really, Benjamin Netanyahu is Polish? Yeah. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 2, and it reads, "Though they dig into hell, thence shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down." Right? Not hell, not in the it's not a eternal place of just burning forever, right? Hell represents, the grave, right? The hellish condition on the earth. Okay. Now right here, okay. Talk about the underground bunkers. Okay. Right here. Bottom line, these elites are seeking to establish a greater Israel and also to escape Bible prophecy. But they will not be successful. Where can you flee to escape the Lord's judgment? Can't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Okay. But yeah, they're going to retreat to their, that's why they've got these bunkers. Right, in parts of the world, underground, to hide out in. Okay. That's the Psalms, chapter 139. Start at verse 7, and it reads, Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. Again, hell is just the grave or a condition played out on planet Earth. That's all it is. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. Point being is that there is nowhere you can travel to escape the presence of the Lord. These elites will retreat again underground to their bunkers. They will go to their underwater retreats, try and escape out into the outer heavens. Try to. Okay. You see, they cannot escape the Most High, period, nor his judgment. In the spirit, they know that. They're aware of that, but they will attempt to do so anyways. Okay. Revelation. Book of Revelation, chapter 6. And verse 15 reads, And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, yeah, the Amalekites, man, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Warburgers, the Gettys, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, all right, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. That's Yahushai. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Nobody save the elect. See, these elites, again, they'll be dragged out of these bunkers. They will be arrested and go right into slavery. Okay. Yeah, the elites will be the first crop of our slaves, man. Fresh chains slapped onto them wrists. Look at this. Got a lot of these notifications. From RT News earlier today. Ukrainian missile strike unalived 6 in Russian border region, officials. 6 civilians have been unalived and 4 injured in the Ukrainian missile strike on Russia's Belgorod. Oh. Wars, rumors of wars, that's still turning up. Yeah. But there you have it, man. Alright. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the Lord's elect of the household of faith out of the nation of Israel. In closing, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Waha Rachaha Kodash, and a bad babal